Yo, what's up? What's up? What's up? This is Mr. B. We live right now. The broadcast is keeping it in the road. Right now, we on Mr. B Trucking Institute. We YouTube live. And I just want to let y'all know that this is our podcast. Keeping it in the road. Y'all can check out the podcast on, what can y'all check that out on? I think we are on Spotify. That's where we at. So y'all make sure we will anchor on Spotify, keeping it in the road. All right. So my co-partner, my co-host, what's his name, y'all? Y'all know his name. DC Wolf. Yeah, but Wolf out making his bread. So I'm riding solo today. So we got this new segment that we're about to kick off. It's called Lunch Break with Foodie Fancy. That's right, Lunch Break with Foodie Fancy. So I'm going to bring in our dispatcher, Foodie Fancy, and we're going to talk a little bit about safe marriage. So y'all like, hold up, Mr. B, this is a trucking channel. What you talking about? Safe marriage. Yeah, that's right. We're talking about safe marriage because we looking at truck driving holistically. So on Keeping It in the Road, of course, we're going to talk about the particulars of the trucking industry. We're going to bring that education, experts. We're going to talk about a lot of subject matter concerning the trucking industry, educating you on that and keeping you up to par, okay, on what's going on in the industry. But also, it's going to be a very entertaining format because we're going to have some entertainers up in the sleeper berth. And we're going to bring that energy of entertainment. You see what I'm saying? And not only that, but last but not least, the last E, we're going to bring some encouragement. So when it comes to safe driving, guess what? There is a mental awareness we have. Mental health is important in the truck. And we have some drivers out there that's married. We have some drivers out there that's single. You know what I'm saying? We have some drivers out there that's considering marriage. So today we're going to just talk about safe marriage. You know what I'm saying? And if you single or if you not, if you consider marriage or if you know somebody married, you can share this information anyway. So this is going to be a good conversation. So I'm going to bring in Foodie Fancy, our dispatcher, and we're going to talk a little bit about this safe marriage thing. Let me see where Foodie Fancy at. Foodie Fancy, what's up?
What's going on?
How you doing?
I'm doing good, actually. Just chilling, just kind of resting up my mind and hanging out with you. Okay. DC Wolf. I don't know. Look, hollering at him wherever he's at. What's up, DC?
Yeah. So what we're gonna do on this episode, Foodie Fancy, we're gonna just, I know you were. I look at the parallels of safe marriage and being safe in the truck, and I can see the metaphor there too. Safety is what this program is all about. We're all about safety. So, you've been married how long?
25 years.
Okay. So I think that means you know a little bit something about marriage.
I think that gives me a little edge on something, Having that many years under my belt definitely have taught me a lot through the, road of marriage, and also just kind of the ins and the outs, the good and the bad. It's just a lot of things that you learn, as you are in a relationship with someone and you choose to figure out, okay, I can always do the easy thing and get on about my business if things aren't working out. But then you realize, is that really the best thing? So I'm at a stage where I'm learning to enjoy my marriage. And it wasn't easy to make that decision in the earlier stage of, being married, because you have two people coming from two different walks of life becoming one. And, this person have their ideology and this other person have theirs, and two people trying to work it out. But you learn a lot over the years when you've been married for such a great deal of time. And that's the reason why, if you're like in the earlier stage of your marriage, just be patient, stick with it, because I promise you, if you both humble yourselves and walk in humility, you definitely will have what you desire you know, in a marriage.
Okay, so I know we got a lot of some truck drivers out there. Definitely, is married. We met a driver today that some guys, their wife is in the truck with them, and they might be back at home. There is this stigma. I know I've been in trucking a while, where sometimes it put a lot of pressure on marriages because truck drivers are out there on that road.
Yeah.
So one thing I know, you talked about safe marriage, and you was telling me that safe is actually an acronym.
Oh yeah,
So
it's an
you're
acronym.
saying that, yeah, you're saying that you have the S, the A, the F, and the E. So what is the S in safe marriage?
Well, the S is for stay. You know,
Okay.
so many times, like I was just sharing with you earlier, when it gets rough, the first thing we think, hey, let's just kind of make a escape, right? It's just like when you drive in a lane on the road, you know, for truck drivers out there, just for any person, you know, in a vehicle that's driving. It's like you're in this lane and it may not be going as fast as you want, right? Or it may not be moving. So what do? You want to switch. You want to switch lanes, moving in and out of lanes so you can get what you want. And in a marriage, you have to decide to stay put, you know, work it through, see it through.
I don't like that metaphor you use. I think more about stay is if you got a Peterbilt, you need to stay in that Peterbilt. You don't just need to pull over and jump out the truck and jump into a freight liner. You don't need to just jump out and go get in a Volvo. It ain't about switching. So when I think about staying in a marriage, that means you stay in that thing just like you're going to stay in your truck. You're going to be committed to that truck. Not only are you committed to that truck, but if you're going to stay in that marriage, it's like, guess what else you got to do to a truck? You got to do preventative maintenance.
Yeah, but before we jump into the preventative maintenance, you have to realize that with the whole stay, it's a mindset, it's a mentality, and it's a choice.
Right.
You have to decide, right, that I am going to stay committed, that I'm going to see this through and not look for the easy way to jump in and out. So that was where I was going with that, jumping in and out because things aren't what you desire at this point. You may not have it, it's just a matter of knowing what you desire and working towards getting it done, building what you want and not jumping ship. You know what I mean? Like when it doesn't seem to be what you want. So first of all, it has to be a mindset to decide that I want to stay in this relationship.
That's right. So I done decided, I done bought me a Peterbilt, using the metaphor. I'm staying in my Peterbilt. I ain't trying to go to a freight line. I ain't trying to go to a Volvo. I ain't trying to go to none of that. I'm staying in that.
You're staying in it.
So that's the first thing you got to decide.
And don't stay with attitude, not a bad one. You got to stay with the right attitude. Stay with the attitude that I want to make this work.
Okay. All right. You coming with some Foodie Fancy. Now, what is so safe marriage? All right. So not only is the S is stay. So what is the A?
The A is attend. You
attend.
Yeah. When you mentioned, I guess getting the maintenance done. What do you call it on the truck when you're?
You have to get that. Come on now, you a dispatcher.
Right. So PM, get PM done.
Hold on now, dispatcher.
You catching me on a Monday, man. You
the dispatcher. You supposed to know what a PM. Well, then again, some dispatchers.
Well, no, seriously, I just said it. It's a PM. You're getting the preventive maintenance done on your vehicle, on your truck, right? So you know what, Mr. B, I'm gonna need you. Look, I need you to tighten up. Don't start. You won't be getting no good routes from me. I promise you.
Hold on now.
Don't trip. But anyway,
you know me and Clint. We next time we taking a load. We need that load of chicken. We got to get down to Reedsville. We were late last time. We got to make sure this time we
make you ship with some Brussels sprouts. Ain't nobody gonna want that load. But anyway, but seriously, when you have decided to stay in a relationship, then it's a matter of what do you do to keep this relationship growing, not just keeping it where it's functioning. No, it needs to grow, right? So there's a difference. And it's like when there's something that's growing, that means that you have to attend, you have to nurture. It's just like you're planting a garden. You have to make sure that those seeds are planted, not only just planted, but you have to water. You need to get it in the sunlight. You know, making sure that you're nurturing that garden so that it can produce the fruit and the outcome that you desire. So when you're attending, you can't just think about what do I want. You have to really deny yourself and think about what is it that will be a blessing or something that will encourage and strengthen my spouse.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
you attending, taking, you know, well, I don't want to go to the movies. Well, if your spouse want to go to the movies, it's okay sometimes to just say, "Hey, I'm gonna deny myself to see what you need." You
Mm-hmm.
know, if let's go out. Don't always just sit around and be focused in on your phones and the television when you're in a presence with each other. You need to begin to date. Don't, that's the key thing. Do not forget to date one another. What did you do to get this person, you know, to develop this relationship with this person? You need to go back and not just stay there, but actually make it better. How can
Mm-hmm.
I attend to this person's needs?
Yeah. And that's good because you know, I've been as a driver, I've been married. I've been married a minute too. That's interesting. We both been married about the same time. I've been married 25 years too. And what's
Yeah.
interesting is I think that communication, when you attending your marriage, you gotta communicate.
Oh,
You know,
absolutely.
if you out there on that road, you know, you need to be committed to communicating. And when I think about attend too, I think about like attending mean that you showing up, you know,
Yeah.
and you
Not just
participate. Say it again.
not just showing up physically.
Right,
Emotions need to be involved.
right.
It's like if I've been on the road, okay, just for you guys that's out there on the road, it's like if you've been gone for weeks, you know, weekend, however long away from your spouse, and when you come back, you need to let that person know I've missed you. And
Mhm.
not just go and close yourself up because you're communicating again that word communicate. You can communicate a lot of things with body, you know, language, how you communicate with what you're doing, not just verbally, but your actions is a way of communicating. And when you're communicating that I just want to be left alone and to myself, you're sending the message that you're not attending to that
Mhm.
person. And
So
that person, for I would say this too, I would say this too for the spouse that's at home, for the drivers that's been on the road, we have to be sensitive to that person's needs as well, that they've been gone for so long. And it's okay to give them a minute to breathe and not just come with, oh, you ignore me. It's the word balance. So
mm,
communication and balance is a great
mm.
way to attend to a relationship.
You sure know a whole lot about that attending. I mean, you used to did your husband used to drive trucks or something?
He drove for a little bit.
Okay. All right. So this is the thing too. Kind of using the metaphor with the trucking.
Mhm.
So you decide if I'm staying in this thing. That's your S. I'm staying. I got me a Pete. I'm staying with that. And then you gotta attend to it. You gotta do preventative maintenance.
Right.
You gotta get out and wash that truck. You see what I'm saying? You gotta make sure your tires are at the proper pressure. You see what I'm saying? You gotta pull over and stop and check on that load. You see what I'm
Right.
saying? You gotta make sure it's the right weight. You gotta stop by the weigh station. I'm preaching right now. You gotta take care of that big truck. You say, hold on, I ain't calling nobody white woman big. Let me be careful
Oh
with
no,
that.
that's what it sounds like. You may
Hey,
want to
no, no,
repent
no,
that
no, no,
real
no.
quick.
I got a little small Peterbilt. You know, I got me a day cab. A day cab. You gotta take care of them day cabs. I ain't got no condo.
Hey, wait a minute. But if somebody do have a condo, hey, feel
Hey,
free
ain't nothing wrong with it. Some people
just
like
go on the road
condos.
with the truth.
Some people like them day cabs. Whatever you got, but you
Whatever you
don't want that.
have, it's a beautiful
Right.
gift from God.
And the thing is this, you want to make, in all serious, you want to make sure in using that metaphor, you see what I'm saying? When you want to be clean and you want to be looking, have your truck looking right, and your marriage is the same way. You want that clean and you want it looking right. Now we talked about staying in this marriage. All right. We talked about we got to attend to it.
Yeah.
I got me a Pete, I'm staying in it. Well, I got me a condo or a day cab. And I'm gonna tend to it, take care of it. So what does the F stand for in safe?
The F is one of the most hardest things for any person, married or not. But as we're keeping it within a relationship aspect, F is for forgive. It's for forgiveness. You have
Mm,
to be willing to forgive. There is not a person that walks this earth that has not made a mistake. You know, and we all have those moments in life where we may say the wrong thing, do the wrong thing. But if we understand that we are loved, that the person that we're communicating with or in a relationship with, if we understand that if this person step out of pocket, I think my husband and I were just having this conversation yesterday, that if a person step out of pocket, you got to remember that you're talking to someone who actually loves you and cares for you. So you can't just, assume that this person is out to attack you. And if they mess up, be willing to forgive. I think, I'm also a believer in Christ. So the word tells us in 1 Corinthians 13 that we shouldn't keep record of wrong. That we should walk in forgiveness, that we should walk in love, with one another. And those are some things that we have to decide. Now, what forgiveness look like, then it may look differently, but the end goal is to no longer be in the position of discord with one another.
That's good, Foodie Fancy. That's good right there, because if you're not willing to forgive, it's like putting sugar in the tank of your truck and expecting that truck to run. You hear what I'm saying? It's like you're putting sugar in your tank. It's like you can't poison something and then you expecting. It's like you poisoning something. I heard somebody say unforgiveness is like, you drinking the poison and expecting the other person to die.
Wow.
When you're not forgiving somebody. You see what I'm saying? How am I pour some sugar in my tank and think my truck gonna run? You see what I'm saying? So the thing is that with forgiveness is so important. And I love that point you said. Your husband, he a brilliant man, because that's such a good point, that when what lowers arguments or have less, if you want to decrease arguments in your relationship, that's what you got. You got to see each other.
Right.
And then you can have teachable moments, because as mad as I may be at my wife or whatever, it's like at the end of the day, I got to look at that woman and say, I know she'll die for me. She loves me. And she's not doing none intentionally to hurt me. We just got out of pocket. And when we got out of pocket, guess what? I got to think about it. This person loves me. They don't want to hurt me. And if you think about it that way, it reduces arguments. But what it increases is this is just a teachable moment for me. Now I can learn something, and that's what love is. That love, that forgiveness. If you don't forgive, you just stuck. You just stuck out there on the road. You on the side of the road, broke down. Ain't nobody coming to pick you up.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like all you want. You on the side of that road. You stuck. You just stuck. You ain't Kaufman ain't coming. Action tie ain't coming. Nobody. You just gonna be on the side of the road, broke down. And then when you forgive, now the Lord gonna send action tie. They're gonna come out there and send that tow truck to get you. You see what I'm saying? Not it ain't no tow truck. No, they gonna fix your tie, and then you can keep rolling down the road. But in all seriousness, that forgiveness is the key to having a strong marriage.
It's the key to having a strong marriage. It's the key to having a healthy person, because it's not just about the couple. It's also about the individual. Because if I'm broken and I'm not healed, then there's no way that I can be a benefit to you or the relationship. So it's like when you're talking about forgiving, people be like, forgiving ain't for you, it's for me. I mean, really, it really is. Because if I'm walking around and I have not forgiven you, the person that you're in a relationship with, it's like you have to remember that if you're not walking in forgiveness, you're not a healthy person mentally or emotionally. So there's no way your relationship is going to survive.
Ooh, Foodie Fancy, you dropping, boy. Look here. I like you, dispatcher. Look here, dispatcher. You dropping some knowledge and that's some good
I had
stuff.
to forgive you and DC Wolf for not getting that load delivered on time.
Hey,
I had to work on that.
But that was Wolf. That was Wolf. Look here. I gotta forgive Wolf because he was the one kept stopping, going. And I wonder what he was doing. He going to the back of the truck, opening it up. I'm like, hold on, Wolf. What's going on back there, Wolf? You know what I'm saying? You getting some of that chicken? But then, but I forgive him. You know what I'm saying? Because he kept telling me, hey, man, I ain't getting no chicken. I'm just checking to make sure the load good. And now, and then I'm like, but why all that grease on your mouth, Wolf?
Man, come on. Now you stepping over.
But then Wolf told me, no. But look here, Wolf was telling me that he had that grease because he said it was just Vaseline because it was cold outside.
Well, first of all, it could be olive oil from asparagus. Come on, stop tripping.
I don't know what we were doing, but we got the load there, and they said it was all there. So, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what Wolf was doing back there.
But seriously, though, I really do want to share this point, and it's a part of attending and also forgiving. One of the things in a relationship that we have to remember is that we cannot have outside voices trying to control the union that God has put together.
You preaching.
And that's another thing too. It's like I was talking to someone about this. We try to appease. It's easy for us to forgive a coworker. It's easy for us to forgive someone that's like at your church. It's easy to forgive other people, but it's so hard to forgive the ones that you live in a home with when they're the ones that you in union in a relationship with. We have to ask those questions and to figure out the why. So I would say the S is for stay. Decide that you want to keep this relationship. The A is attend, making sure you're doing what's necessary to keep that relationship, not just functioning, but flourishing and growing. Because if I'm just saying I'm just keeping it functioning, I'm just doing what I got to do just because I'm in a relationship. No, you want that relationship to grow. That's why I said there is a difference, right? And then we have, what did I say? The F is for forgive. So the E is
you didn't talk to forgive. You said the F is give, and I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, no, you're fine. We talked about it. So basically, yes. So you have to make sure that you're deciding to release in order to receive. Because if you don't release the anger and what has been done, you're not going to be able to receive the benefit of a beautiful relationship because you're too focused on what's happened in the past. You can't move forward, and you can't even enjoy the present.
So what's that E?
So that E is enjoy. Because when you've done it all and you've decided, now mind you, it's not like this is going to be like something that happened in a week, a month. Sometimes it may take months, it may take years because you have like I said, you have two broken people a lot of times that's coming from different backgrounds trying to build a union together could definitely, bring about troubling moments, but it's a commitment that you both must have that you want to, and to have what God has placed together. So once you've made these decisions and you've made these modifications, then you can enjoy the relationship.
Yeah, I'm a sidetrack here too. I just saw DC Wolf. He's supposed to be on the road somewhere, and I just see where he watching the show and texting and talking about.
He's watching the show.
He talking about he forgive us because we lied on him because he didn't get out of the back of that truck and came back and he
that
come
was
back with that grease on.
Not Foodie Fancy. I was defending you, bro. I promise you.
And that when you said about enjoy, I think that's such a good point. When you decide to stay in the marriage, that means you just committed to it. You faithful and you committed to that thing. And then when you say you attend to it, you get your PMs, you do your preventative maintenance. You have a forgiving heart. When you walking in those, and when you talk about enjoy, that's like when you ride down the road and that engine purling. That thing, boy, I remember I had that Detroit 60. I had a Volvo with a Detroit 60 in that thing. And I just be riding, and I took care of that engine. I was committed to that Volvo, that condo. I took care of the PMs on it, and this trucker talk right now. I used to ride down the road, and that truck, that Detroit 60 it'd be purring, it just be whistling at me. That's how I was riding. And I can sit back. Hold on, I'm talking about you can enjoy your truck. You can enjoy the truck ride. You can get out and you be like, look, you get out the truck stop, you pulling up, they looking at that thing like, woo, look at them shining rims. You just pulling up that thing, just purring. You know what I'm saying? So really, when you doing all of the stuff we just talked about, enjoying your marriage, that's the beautiful part of it. You can enjoy it and not just, and I think this is something I want to add on enjoy. When you are when you've decided to stay, you attending to your marriage, you forgiving in your marriage, when you enjoying your marriage, guess what you're doing now? Now you a beacon of light. You a model to other people whose situations that they truck might be broke down or they might need some help. But just by seeing your truck shine, when I pull up at that truck stop and I'm shining, you see what I'm saying? It's purring right. Now I can be an encouragement to somebody else. You see what I'm saying? Now I can help somebody else. And and that's what it's about. I think we need more models, more people that's doing it right, that's enjoying each other. And
that's then, right there, Brian, enjoying each other, because one of the things that people do, they say, I love you, right?
Right.
But there's a difference of loving someone and liking them. You want to get to the point to where you like each other, where you just want to be in the presence of one another. I can love you, but don't like you.
Woo! Foodie Fancy. Boy, I'm about to throw a copyright at you.
You do, you going to jail.
Then I'm going
Yeah.
But that's good. That's good. You got some folk that love each other. That's good. You got some folk that love each other but don't like each other. And I think that it's so important that when you walking through them principles that you done brought up here, when you walking through that thing, you can step out your truck and you can say, I like this.
Wow. Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Because some folk, you love it, but I love you, but you don't want to be in that. You don't want to be in it just because you want to be like, I like this.
Right.
I love you, baby, and I like you.
That's what you want to tell him and tell him. So that's all that I have for you guys today.
Well, I appreciate you, Dispatcher. I appreciate you coming on today. As I've said to all of those who, that sat there on that road with keeping it in the road with Mr. B, we here not to just educate and trucking. We're not here just to entertain, but guess what? We're here to encourage you. Okay. Yep. We want to encourage somebody today. Somebody heard this message. Pick up the phone and give your loved one a call. Make sure you loving on each other. Make sure you taking care of that, of that marriage. Make sure you taking care of that relationship. Make sure you communicating. Okay. And we're gonna come back with a live broadcast. Later on this week, we'll be coming back, keeping it in the road with Mr. B. And hopefully I'll have my compadre. Hopefully he'll be back. DC Wolf, he will be back. He just had to go out and hit that road and do some work. We appreciate him and all he do. And we're going to get our safety manager. Yeah, we're going to get our safety manager on here as well. So we want to just thank y'all for watching today. We thank you for, we want to just ask people out there to just make sure you subscribe to the channel. We want you to subscribe. Definitely hit some likes. Okay. We want you to hit some likes. And we would love for you to comment. Okay. We're going to be doing some call-ins. We're going to be doing a lot of fun things. Today we did some Jake breaks. We actually was at the truck stop today and did some Jake breaks with some drivers. And what a Jake break is we just go out there and talk to drivers and say, hey, how you doing? How you getting trucking? You love it? You don't like it? You hate it? We just talk to them, and sometimes they need to unload. So I'm looking forward to continuing to connect with our subscribers, connect with our people out there, our viewers that's watching. We got some good things coming. Now, Foodie Fancy, I want you to say on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. Then I want you to say, keep it in the road. 1, 2, 3.
Keeping it in the road.
Right here with Mr. B. All right, y'all, make sure y'all check out the podcast. We appreciate you, Foodie Fancy. All right, y'all. We appreciate you. Hit that podcast up. We on Spotify, Anchor, Mr. B, Trucking Institute, right here live on YouTube. We keeping it in the road. We're gonna have to talk about who made that beat too. You hear that beat? All right, y'all.